everybody, and welcome to the Two Player Podcast with Matt Likes Games and Ham Solo. Enjoy the show. And welcome to the Two Player Podcast with Matt Likes Games and Hamathy Solo. Enjoy the show. Everybody, and welcome to the Two Player Podcast with Matt Likes Games and Ham Solo. Enjoy the show. Maddie, and welcome to the Two Player Podcast with Matt Licks Games and Hamathy Solo. Enjoy the show.
All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Two Player Podcast with myself, Matt Likes Games, and I've got Ham Solo here. It's been a very, very busy week in gaming. Was that Forspoken?
Yeah.
That's damn. Yeah, you got a good deal on that too. I'll get that someday. Someday soon.
I'm surprised I beat you to it because you had it pre-ordered.
I did, and then I played that demo, and I was like, I don't know about it.
You were feeling jiggy, and you're like, "Yo, this demo is fire." And then you were looking at your wallet, and you're like, "Man, I'm an Xbox guy. I can't afford this." And you returned it.
And I said, this is $70. I said, you want $70 for this? No, thank you. That's what I said.
No, that's the fact. I was behind you on that statement too because I played the demo and I was like, and you're like, I do know, I ain't getting it.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm all set because I like the combat's fun, but it's just
it is.
Fun combat is not enough for me to pay $70, especially when that doesn't seem to be the entire focus of the game, or at least it doesn't seem like that's the goal they're going for. But is what it is. I'm sure it's still a very fun game, and I mean, for the price you got it, very well worth it. But I mean, let's honestly start with you, because what have you been playing? What have you been playing recently?
So I haven't been playing Forspoken. I literally just took it out of the plastic. What I have played that I took out of the plastic yesterday, which I'm not going to go across the room and grab it right now, but the LA edition of Dead Island. I mean, I tell you something, I've been missing out.
Dude, I was trying spread the good word. Spread the good word of Dead Island too.
I've been missing out. I tell you, there is no better game to play when you're not having a good day.
Yeah. You can take out a good amount of anger, and it will cheer you up a little bit too.
I was in a good mood yesterday. And I got on there and like I died versus like a higher level like I guess if you go in certain areas it's worse.
Yeah.
And there's certain like zombies that can like one tap you.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, so I ran into a couple of those and got repeatedly one tap. And then I was angry, and I remember I had picked up some nuts, and I was just like, screw this area, I'm not doing it anymore. I walked away from that area. I was all salty because I wanted to go down there and search around. And I had these nuts, and I got to a table, and I put some stuff together on the nuts. I made them more tough, right?
Yeah.
Man, remember last night I said, I'm done with this, I'm gonna hop on Forza?
Yeah.
I played Forza for like 40 minutes. Then I hopped back on Dead Island just for a little bit because I was just like, oh, it was pretty fun swinging that knife around. When I got the nuts, I was stuck for another 2 hours. I was just like, oh my God. Like, I'm literally just like walking, like there's like one of those runners start running at you, and I'm just like charging up my fist. And as soon as they get to me, I'm just like, all right in the face. And it is just amazing when you just, and it feels so smooth. Like usually in video games, when you have a punching mechanic, it kind of just feels a little messy. Like even in Starfield, when you're swinging the sword, it's kind of just like, I'm just slapping the button,
Yeah,
and doing whatever it can. No, in Dead Island, it's like, all right, you hit the button, it's like pop, hit the button again, pop, hit the button 3 times, pop, pop, pop. It's like, oh shit, like I am laying fools out, and it's like pop, pop, pop. They fall on the ground, and I charge up, and I just hand through their face. Like,
punch right through their skull.
It's so goddamn good. I was cooking. I did not want to play that game anymore. I told you, man, I was like, I'm trying to play Forza and go to bed, but that didn't happen.
Nah, dude. That game is very, very good. It's so fun. It'll keep you playing much longer than you expect. In fact, I need to download that again. In fact, I might already have it downloaded again. I'm down to play that multiplayer whenever you want.
Oh, I'm ready. I'm ready. I think, I mean, as long as I can keep, because your items break, but you can take them to the workbench and repair them.
Yes.
And then continue to use them. I do have a couple questions for you before you go on and talk about what you've been playing. And just in case anybody didn't know, I've also been playing Forza, Starfield, and I think that's about it. Anyways, the question I had for you for Dead Island is, so as the game progresses, I'm guessing like Nux are not going to be good, or am I just going to get an upgraded version of Nux to continue to use Nux? Because I really like walking around punching people in the face.
The higher level you get, the better weapons you'll find. So like you'll find a pair of brass knuckles that are like, I forget how the leveling is, but you'll find a high level pair whenever you're farther in the game. So you can continue
like a 300 Nux or something. Yeah, like that,
you can still use it. You can upgrade the ones, obviously the ones you got now, or you'll find new ones. You also find some with yours might have it, but you also find some with spikes on it, which is just like you'll find like different variations of weapons, and they'll all be a higher level than what you're used to, so you can keep using the same weapons you like.
And then the next question I had is, like, when you repair, like let's say I repair the Nux, are they just as strong as the first time I use them, or are they gonna break fast just because they're used?
I think they're just as strong. I don't remember them breaking faster.
Okay.
Yeah, you should be all good with that. Mike says Dead Island 2 is good. Yeah, it definitely is. Rob Don says he caught Forspoken on sale on PC. Not a bad deal, honestly. That's the way to get it. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, I got it for $17. So
yeah,
I am not mad. I was like, that is 100% worth $17.50.
Yeah,
I'm doing it. For anything above 30, forget about it. And as a matter of fact, I got the collector's edition of Dead Island with the card, the steel book, map, all that stuff, for $25. So keep an eye out. Keep an eye out on GameStop. They look like they're having a crisis.
They're having a bad time over at GameStop. They're giving shit away. They're just trying to get rid of shit.
Yeah, I got Forspoken and Dead Island. Like I said, it's the collectors of Dead Island for under $45 together. And that Dead Island thing was worth $100 by itself. And
does that collector's thing, does that come with like the DLC? Because there's a DLC coming out in like, so you got the DLC. It comes out early next month, I believe, and they're saying that's like an homage to BioShock and Deathloop, which I need to get that because I love both of those games. But yeah, like that's a stupid deal, $25 for that. I mean, that's just nuts. I don't know what's going on with GameStop. I don't know if they really are in their last leg or what's happening, but they were just giving shit away for a minute there. For like 2-3 nights in a row, I was seeing Wario post like stupid GameStop sales. And in fact, I'm about to check while I'm talking, see if there's some that are still up. But yeah, as for myself, what I've been playing, I mean, Forza. I've been playing a lot more Forza than I really expected to play. Like, it's kind of gotten me off of Starfield a little bit. And I'm splitting time between Forza, Starfield. Halo just released a new.
Crazy if
it is.
If it's taking if this racing sim, because you're Mr. Arcade Racer.
Yeah, I love Horizon, Need for Speed, all that stuff.
So you fell off of Gran Turismo a hot minute ago. You are okay with Forza 7, but it was never really your calling.
No,
Starfield's here. It's like your game of the year, essentially.
Yes,
that is easy. Starfield, and little old Forza Motorsport is taking you away from your game of the year.
I did not expect to play the Motorsport the way I'm playing it, and the way I'm playing it, I don't think I'm playing it the way most people. Because I'm like, I remember talking to you. You're like, I'll skip the practice. You're just talking like I'll skip. I'm like, dude, I need to do the practice, and I need to be.
Sometimes I skip it. If I hate the car that I'm in, I'll skip the practice.
I just can't for whatever. I was in the party with you the other night talking about like, dude, this car fucking stinks. I hate this car. I don't want to, like, this car's making me not want to play the game. Meanwhile, I went through practice. I ran out of time on the practice trying to beat my time. Like that time it gives you, because the car is so damn bad that it has no chance really of beating that time. So I'll play the full practice. I'll go run the time limit out, trying to beat that time. And if I don't beat it, then whatever, I'll move on. But like I'll just play the full practice on everything, trying to beat the time until I get it. And it's just like I'm like obsessive with it to a point that I don't think is particularly healthy, quite frankly with you.
Oh, it's healthy. Eat up.
Dude. But it's so much fun. I'm really enjoying Motorsport. Lady Foxfire says Motorsport's fire. Yeah. I
yeah, it is. I
agree.
see Lady Foxfire loving the hell out of that. I seen her comment earlier today. She said, I might not have the best GPU or something like that, but I'm enjoying Forza. And I'm just like, fuck, it doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is it's giving you the option to play it where you want.
Exactly.
Play it, which is very dope.
Exactly. And that's like, I've been playing on PC, on Series X before I go to bed, and I'm on Series X playing it. It's a fun game. It's definitely the most I've been invested in a sim racer since GT4. That's a long time ago at this point. What are you about to say?
I was gonna say that we're talking about being able to play games where we want to. We heard about Starfield for the month of September, right?
Yeah.
Being the highest sold game that month, 7th this year in most sold game, and most of their sales come on PC. And I'm just like, hey, Sony, do you see what they did?
Yeah. And
they put it day and date. And hey, they're not talking about Game Pass numbers. They're talking about sold copies of the game.
Yep.
Sony, what are you doing?
It's a good question. And it's like, not even just sold regular copies of the game. I mean, think back to when early access was still a thing. You saw like 250,000 just on Steam, like 250,000 people, up to like 300,000 people playing Starfield early access. That means they bought it on Steam specifically. That's not counting Xbox. That's not counting PC Game Pass. And then you add on to that throughout the whole month of September, oh yeah, it's the best selling game. And most of that, like you said, comes on PC. And then you got Sony here saying, well, it's not sustainable. We can't do that. It's like, you can, because you'll make more money. You'll absolutely make more money. It's totally sustainable. And I don't know. I think I think we all agree it's kind of just a matter of time, but they're being really slow about it.
Yeah, that's exact. I got into an argument with King Thrash on K Mega's channel, and I tried to tell him that, PlayStation is doing very similar to what Xbox is doing. And he is like, PlayStation isn't doing it because they can't afford to take as much risk as Xbox it is. And I said, that's exactly right. So they're doing it slower. They want to do it, but they can't do it at the same rate as Microsoft is doing it. They have to do it slower 100%. And more methodical because they don't want to just run into a wall at high speed.
100%. You look at I was gonna say, you look at like when Microsoft made the decision, things were coming to PC day and date. Everything came to PC day and date. Sony's dipping their toe. Microsoft went like they've just belly flopped in. They don't care. They just jumped right in. Water's fine. Sony, on the other hand, they're dipping their toe. They're checking the water. They're making sure it's safe. And it's like, at this point, I mean, dude, could you imagine if Spider-Man 2 launched day and date on PC? Like that's gonna sell a stupid amount. What's up?
No, continue. Finish.
I was gonna say that's gonna sell a stupid amount of units just on PS5. But if you put that on PC day and date, I mean, it would go insane. That would break records. That would easily be, just off the Spider-Man name alone, let alone the fact that it seems to be like it's going to be an amazing game. That would be the best-selling game of the year, probably. Maybe not. Might not be Hogwarts because Hogwarts had a head start on it, but it would be right there with it. So, I mean, I don't know, Sony. I don't know what you guys are doing over there, but hopefully you guys get that figured out sooner rather than later.
Which Call of Duty are you playing right here, bro?
That's MW3 beta.
God damn it. Nah, man. I love this map. God damn. Because I seen the map and I was like, yo, I remember this map way back when. Like, I was thinking maybe you were playing the old Call of Duty.
No.
But you said, no, this is the new shit right here. So, like, this map right here was a problem. Like, like, God, like, this is a great one. This is really
fun
good
map. That's a fun map. Dude, the beta was so fun. I mean, when's that game come out? I think it's the 11th is when that comes out, or the 10th or something of November.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
Sometime in November, yeah.
I cannot wait. I'm super pumped for that game. And like, dude, I got Favela. I was showing some Favela gameplay right before this. Favela is still my favorite map in Call of Duty history. It's still, and people hate that map. I found that out. Apparently, people don't like that map. Lady Foxfire says
Favela. I just like Terminal the best. It's the go.
Terminal's great. Lady Foxfire says MW3 is DLC. Here's the thing. I agree with you. It is. It's 1,000% DLC. I think it's saving grace for me is I mean, granted, it doesn't really apply to me because I'm not somebody who buys the cosmetics in Call of Duty. But like, if I was, and there are a lot of people who are, you know, any cosmetic you bought for MW2 carries over to MW3, which is the way I feel like it should be. If we're in the Modern Warfare series and you buy a cosmetic on Modern Warfare 1, that should go to Modern Warfare 2. If you buy one in Modern Warfare 2, that should go to Modern Warfare 3. If we're in the same series, that's the way it should be happening. My opinion. Hopefully they stick to that. Probably not. I mean, let's be realistic. But it would be cool.
I think they are. I think they are going to stick to it. I think it's going to be a hub because it's already hubbish, right? You turn on
very much
Call of Duty and it says which one you want to play.
Did you?
So I think it's going to be like that, and I think it's going to carry on like that for the rest of time. And plus, with them teaming up with Microsoft, they like the kind of ecosystem things.
Mm-hmm. So
I can totally see that happening. In fact, I think it's a direction that Microsoft's seen and was like, I'm familiar with that. Let's do that.
Yeah. Did you see by chance Bill was talking about
Avela, there it is. Oh snap.
Right.
But what's up? Continue.
Bill was talking about it. I was talking to him about Call of Duty the other day, and he's like, they have it set up now so that because it's a hub, you can't game share Call of Duty.
Word?
Yes. So like he's saying like Activision blatantly chose this in order to limit. I mean, I haven't tested myself because I can't get my brother to play anything but Apex Legends, so I don't know. But like from what he's saying, because he game shares with someone on PS5, he's like, yeah, you like I can't game share Modern Warfare 3 with him because it is a hub now, and it all runs through the same app.
I don't know, man. See, because I mean, I could do it on Modern Warfare 2, and that was the hub. That was the hub before.
But the thing is, with Modern Warfare 2, they didn't officially because there was a point, but during Modern Warfare 2's cycle, between Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3, where they officially took the Modern Warfare 2 thing down and they just made it Call of Duty. And now it's just.
Oh, you're right.
Exactly. Now it's just Call of Duty.
That went right over my head. I remember seeing it just say Call of Duty, and it had like, especially with the newer one, it says Call of Duty, it's just red.
Yeah, Call of Duty.
And that's all it says is Call of Duty.
Yep. And yeah, Rob the Don says that will change under Xbox. I mean, I hope so. I really hope so. Because Xbox does seem to be like they don't advertise it like super loud, but they do advertise the fact that you can game share on Xbox. They've talked about it before. Phil Spencer's even talked about it a few times at this point. Like, you can game share on Xbox. It's a thing people know about. They're very open about it. So I would imagine that's something that will change under Xbox once that whole integration actually gets going and everything. But Lady Foxfire says beta was fun, but I'll wait for a deal or a Game Pass. I mean, hey, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
Not a bad idea if that's how you're feeling about the game. But I mean, speaking of Call of Duty, Activision, just in general, we should probably talk about the biggest news that happened since last week's episode, and that is the deal officially being done. The whole regulatory process of being done, as Phil likes to say in his interview, is that the regulatory process is now done. Now the actual work begins of integrating ABK. But we're done with the whole legal jargon. We're done with all the online lawyers. We're done with all that because Microsoft officially owns ABK, and that is huge news to wake up to on Friday the 13th in October. So, Ham, what were your initial thoughts seeing the deal being finally done?
I was just kind of at a loss for words. Definitely feeling like about time.
Right.
Also excited to see what was gonna happen to Twitter. And it only took a few moments.
Yeah, dude. Twitter was in shambles when I woke up.
It only took a few moments. Because there are so many people that just, said that it wasn't going to happen, that CMA is, on the right side and all this goofy stuff. So
yeah,
I was just happy for it to just finally be to be behind us, in the sense that we can now look forward to the things that we care about, that we cared about within the deal, which is the game, stuff like that. I'm also very excited for my wallet as well, because this is probably going to be the last Call of Duty that I buy early.
Yeah, same here.
Because the other ones, it's just like, I don't even know if I'll need to buy it. I mean, I probably won't, but like, I'm just saying, like it's not gonna leave the service.
Exactly.
And Call of Duty is a service game after you're done with the campaign, so it's just like, what am I doing?
100%. This might be the last one you need to buy.
And these and let's be real, What am I gonna do with a physical copy of Call of Duty? That thing is like 150 goddamn gigs, man.
It's worth nothing, really. Even on PlayStation, I think PlayStation's limit, forget what it is, but it's like a certain limit of gigabytes that a game can be before it's like not all on the disc. So even on PlayStation, it's still just kind of pointless to have that.
I mean, it's cool. I even felt that way buying Starfield. I was just like, I got the whole like, but the thing is it's not a disc. It's a cred stick, right?
Yeah.
And see, I didn't even download my key. I'm just using the
Game Pass. Yeah.
Game Pass. I mean, what's the point? Why would I use my key?
Yeah. No need. Save it. Keep it
valuable. Keep it usable.
But yeah, I wonder if that's like, because we've talked about before games with collector's editions launching without discs. I'm wondering, because I forget how big Ragnarok was, but I feel like it was a pretty big game.
I can tell you right now.
Wise. Yeah, let me know on that, because I'm wondering if as games get bigger, we'll just see that more and more, because there's no point in having it on the disc because you can't play it. I'm wondering if that's their logic, or if it's just like, forget it, we don't want to manufacture a disc. If it's maybe that simple, I don't know. Because if I remember correctly, Ragnarok was like 90 gigs or something. It was a beefy game. It's either that or Uncharted or Last of Us or something. I can't remember.
Well, I'm looking at what it, and that ain't right.
I'll look at it. What's the God of War Ragnarok file size on PS5?
Because this tries to tell me 189 gigabyte minimum, and I'm like,
no. A PS5 98.28 gigabytes.
Yeah, there you go.
And see, right. I think their limit on their discs is like 60, I think. So like once you pass that, then it's like, what's the point of even having that disc in there, really? Other than for just collectors, and at which point, that's not a lot of the population. So, I mean, from a person who buys games perspective, physically, it's kind of shit, but as from like the perspective of like a business, I guess I can kind of see their reasoning for not doing that. Especially for a game like that, or like Starfield, where it's like, that shit ain't fitting on a disc. Why are we going to put it on there? Right. So, I mean, it sucks, but I wonder if that's just the way we're going as games get bigger. Hopefully not, but I feel like it is, unfortunately. But yeah. Back to the topic. ABK getting officially bought out, or not bought out, merged, acquired by Microsoft. But yeah, man, there's a lot to talk about here. In fact, Phil Spencer actually did an interview yesterday, I believe, is when that dropped. And there was a good amount of information in that. First of all, the first one I want to talk about is the fact that Game Pass drops are not happening this year for ABK. Phil mentioned the fact that the ABK Twitter, or Activision Blizzard Twitter, tweeted out that we wouldn't be seeing games dropping Game Pass until 2024. He said he agreed with that. He said that was pretty spot on.
Yeah, he stood on it.
Yeah, he said he gets that people will be disappointed by that, but that's going to be the case, that you won't see any ABK drops into Game Pass until 2024. So what are your thoughts on that? Because I know I was talking to you, and I said, like, just the other day, I was like, oh, we're gonna see something on Tuesday. I was wrong. I was quite wrong. So what are your thoughts on that?
I think it fucking stinks.
I appreciate you, Lady Foxfire.
That's how I feel as a fan. It stinks. It's just like, damn it, we watched all this happen just to wait again. God damn it. That's how I feel as a fan, as you know, somebody that follows a lot of the news and stuff like that. I kind of get it.
Sure. Yeah,
you got to do some stuff in the background. Probably got to integrate things properly, get things to make sense for Game Pass rewards, all these deals that you're possibly thinking about doing, and it also gives you a second to breathe compared from trial to customer, you know, because that's a big that's a big leap. You know, you just got done. You know, I mean, you leave court. What you gonna do? You ain't gonna go straight to. I mean, you might go straight to the bar or whatnot. But I'm just saying, like, when you still got your briefcase. You still got your rental. You still got all this stuff going on. Because coming probably from out of town. I mean, you got to put away everything. You got to get everything put away. Get back, get home, take the shower, and then get out on the town and do your thing and celebrate. I feel like that's exactly kind of the mentality that's at Microsoft right now. Is they're in the phase of we just got back home and we're putting stuff away. Putting the laundry in putting the laundry in. Getting the clothes pressed and ready for the night. The night just so happens to be 2024.
Yeah.
Right. So you're getting ready to walk out, look good, look the best that you've ever looked, right? And sell that ass at the club. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I'm interested because I really did think we would see. I mean, we did see Game Pass drops, and we'll talk about that. But I was thinking we'd see ABK Game Pass drops like as early as this week. I was fully expecting that. So to see that it's all going to be coming 2024, like Cam said, it makes sense. I'm not like super shocked by it, but it is just as someone who's selfish and wants, for some stupid reason, wants even more games than I already have to play. It's like come on, just give me the things, please. Even though I already own Prototype 1 and 2, which, by the way, if you haven't played Prototype 1 and 2, I mean, play it, do yourself a favor, play it, get it, I don't care how, get it, play it, acquire it, and just enjoy yourself, because that game is just a good time. As a good time. But this made me question, or not question, but made me like kind of wonder, when do you think we see, because for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, I don't think we see that in Game Pass for a full year. But they mentioned Diablo in their tweet, or Activision Blizzard mentioned Diablo in their tweet, saying Diablo and Call of Duty won't be coming to Game Pass until they hinted until 2024. I'm wondering, do you think we see, like, is Diablo 4 one of the first things that goes into Game Pass next year? Do you think?
I'd feel like you'd want a mixture of old with new, and kind of meet somewhere in the middle as you're like dropping stuff in. So, of course, why wouldn't you want to drop the hottest thing available, or the hottest thing that was available? So, I don't see why you wouldn't go for Diablo and Call of Duty and try to get them numbers while the numbers are up, not wait for them to dwindle and then recoup numbers again. This isn't some sort of weird tactic that Sony's trying to do with PC games, right? Like, you want as many people in right now, busy and nowhere to go. Why have everybody sit on the bench?
Yeah.
When you have, when you got all these bus passes and you got all these people sitting on the bench. The bus is ready to go, but you're just like, nah, we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait until you're good and cold. Until you're good and cold, until you can get up on here, and then we'll take you somewhere. After a while, people will just be like, I'm just gonna call it. I'm just gonna do something else.
My sandwich is too hot to eat.
Yeah, man. Like I got to get a move on. So I definitely think as soon as they possibly can, they want to get people onto the hottest new thing, get those player numbers up, and get that money back with Modern Warfare 3 and Diablo 4. I mean, why? Why put? Well, why wait to make money when you can do it right now?
That's a really good point, actually. Naven in the chat says, "Hey guys, I think Spider-Man 2 success is great. Great for Xbox 2 as it makes them elevate their standard and pushes them to do even better." I think that's 100% facts. I mean, it works. It works both ways in the industry. I feel like. I mean,
Yep.
Nintendo doing great things pushes Sony to do great things, pushes Xbox to do great things, and it just keeps circling around. And that's when the industry is at its best. That's why this year.
You mind if I speak on that?
Go ahead. Let them know.
No. Yeah, I 100% agree with what he just said and I agree with what you just got done saying too, Matt. Because it's just like Nintendo shows what you can do great with so little.
Yes, very much so.
And it's just like a reminder that like you don't need to break the bank to make a good game. But at the same time, Sony shows you how good you can like make something, how good something should or can present itself, right?
Yes.
Like I feel like that's one of the things that Sony does best is presentation and marketing.
Yes.
They make sure that you are stoked, and they make it flashy. They make a Ford Tempo look like a Lamborghini.
They're good at it. They're very good at it.
I mean, it's just like what they said in The Office. Andy Bernard said about Michael Scott. Man, you could sell paper to a tree. Like it's like one of those situations where it's just like, God damn, Sony really knows how to, they got the gift of gab, and they are pretty good at proving that they know what the hell that they're talking about.
Yes.
What's been the problem with Sony as of lately is just trying to only do that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of left them stagnant. Xbox is helping people realize around the industry that you don't have to break people's pockets to keep people to keep people in a good game and continuing to play. Even if you're not like the head honcho in the building, you can still be making flow. They're making cash.
Lots of it, yeah.
So they all got something to teach each other. It's just like, young, like oldest brother to the youngest to the youngest sister. Each person can help each other grow.
100%. And that's why like obviously I'm excited for Xbox because I'm an Xbox fan. Like that's my main platform. But it's like that's why I'm so happy to see Xbox like this year for Xbox, especially after last year, man. Especially after last year, you have this year, and then you have the promise of next year where Phil's like, okay, I can see. Like, before we had, like, a vision of a game every quarter. Now we can see that. Like, now that's going to be a thing going forward.
Yeah, because before it was like, sure, buddy.
Yeah, it's like, okay, we've heard you say that.
We're going to go from not a whole lot to just abundance. But now
Yes.
It's like, oh, okay, I can see it.
Exactly. Now we can see it. Now we know what's happening. It's like when Xbox is doing stuff like that, you look at I look at PlayStation this year. They haven't, for me personally. I know people love Final Fantasy. It's not my thing. I can't wait for Spider-Man. I mean, 2 days I get to play that. I'm hyped to play it. But like, it hasn't been the best year for me as a PlayStation fan. But I look at what Xbox is doing. You kind of figure that pushes PlayStation to do better. Maybe next year we start seeing more stuff about PlayStation's future. They lay out their roadmap some more. They give us some more games next year. I mean, I got to imagine PlayStation has something that they haven't announced for 2024. Maybe they don't know the date exactly. Maybe they're trying to pin it down. But I mean, it's a whole year. They got something up their sleeve. So it's like when you have Xbox pushing as hard as they're pushing right now, it kind of kicks Sony in the ass to do some more stuff. And that's exactly what I want, because Xbox and PlayStation are where I play most of my games. Like those two consoles, like that's where I spend most of my time gaming. So when they're both pushing each other to do better, then that just means my investment is more worthwhile. Just means I'm getting more out of the thing I put more money into. So, and that's really all I care about at the end of the day. But I 100% agree with that. I cannot wait to see. You know, I'm interested to see when a game like Hellblade drops, because that'll be like the first. I mean, and we don't know exactly how that'll play. We know we can expect very much Hellblade 1, but higher production value. Seems to be more of a focus on combat, given the fact that they made their animation team do combat training. So it's like, seems like it would have more combat, but we don't really know yet because we haven't really seen the combat. But I'm interested to see when that game drops, like, because you would imagine it's going to be very narrative heavy. That's what Sony does really well. I'm interested to see what Sony shows back from that, shows after that. That's like, hey, we still do this too, kind of thing. And then Xbox with their next game, whatever that ends up being, like, we can still continue doing this back and forth. I'm looking forward to that for sure. But there was so much in this Phil Spencer interview. I mean, there was also, did you see the part? I know you did, because I know you watched it on stream. You saw the part where Phil Spencer was saying they have no goals. They have no, quote, no goals to try and leverage Call of Duty to get folks to buy Xbox consoles. And then he also kind of threw a shot at Sony with, like, he said, we saw what Sony did with exclusivity for the beta for a limited amount of time. And he said that doesn't help the game and it doesn't help the community. And I thought that was pretty. I mean, I didn't expect him to throw a shot at Sony. Punch. I didn't expect him to throw a shot at Sony after the deal was over. To be like, because imagine being Sony, just like you lost the deal, even though it really wasn't your deal, but you lost it, and then Phil Spencer gets up there on an interview and says, "Hey, Sony was doing some fuck shit. They were really being a douchebag about this, and that's not good for the game, and it's not good for the community." And I thought that was really well said, honestly, because, I mean, what does that do for the game or the community other than get them less players? I mean, I don't know what it does. But yeah, I just thought it was interesting to hear that this whole, they have no goals of leveraging Call of Duty to get folks to buy Xbox consoles. What do you think that means? Because I hear that and I immediately call cap. Call cap.
I mean, in a way, I see what he's saying, because they kind of don't have to. Mm-hmm. It does it themselves. Like, I mean, to me, it's like marketing your neighborhood grocery store. People are gonna go there anyway.
Yeah.
So it's just like, like you can market it, but it's just like, why?
Yeah. 100%.
The only thing you really need to market is that it's part of this service. So it'd be with the list of games that's being shown. So it's part of their, scissor reel of games now.
Yeah. Now It's in Game Pass ads.
Exactly. So, but as for what he did with that whole Jim Ryan thing, like, it was just, in my opinion, that was him being like, yo, this is one of the reasons that we did this shit.
Mm-hmm.
It was a subtle way of saying, yo, like, they've been doing this shit to us for a hot minute, and these are some of the practices that they've been using to leverage, to leverage their dominance on us within the third party part of console gaming. And this didn't help us at all. This didn't help other platforms that were able to have Call of Duty, because the only person that could take advantage of it is PlayStation fans. So anybody else that loves Call of Duty is missing out, and that's not fair in our outlook of things. Based on what they've said in court and stuff like that, they want things to be as parity as possible, right? Mm-hmm. So we want Nintendo to be able to get the same shit that you get, Sony. And I know you don't like that, because that's not how you were treated before. But that's how it is now. Yeah. And Xbox fans are the only real benefit for Xbox fans is that it's in the service.
Yes, 100%.
I mean, that there could change, though. There could be a level of cap in what he said about I'm not trying to make this better here. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, just the littlest thing. Like, silly things that literally don't make the game better, like adding an operator, doesn't make the game better. It just makes it more customizable for you.
Sure.
So, but little things, simple little things like that are what was brought up in court.
Yeah.
Because that kind of stuff does matter.
And
those little tiny things do matter.
I wonder if, because the from what I understand with the contracts they signed, it's full parity. Like how PlayStation used to get they did it with Destiny too, where it was like, I remember Destiny was a big deal because I was really into Destiny. Where it's like, we'll get these 2 strikes that no other platform has. Like you don't have these Xbox, and everybody was pissed about that. And then obviously Call of Duty, it's like Call of Duty got its exclusive stuff. There was I want to say it was zombie stuff that they always usually got for Call of Duty on PlayStation, but Xbox is saying it's 100% parity. That includes not just PlayStation and Xbox. That includes Nintendo as well, as you mentioned, because they signed a 10-year deal to bring bring Call of Duty to Nintendo consoles. Which, I mean, imagine 100% parity on Call of Duty between Nintendo, PlayStation, and Xbox. That's insane to think in 2023. You're looking at Call of Duty and the way it runs, or how it looks on new consoles. It makes you kind of wonder how powerful is the next Nintendo, because that's going to be quite impressive if they pull that off. But like as for the content side of it, like you were just mentioning, I'm wondering if their whole thing of like, because you mentioned like an operator, maybe they put like Master Chief as an operator. I'm wondering if they throw Master Chief in as an operator, just as an example, they just throw it on all platforms. Like, here's Master Chief as an operator, and you got people playing as Master Chief in Call of Duty on PlayStation. You got people playing as Master Chief in Call of Duty on Nintendo.
Yeah, see, that'd be interesting. I don't know.
Because it's like, what for me, it's like, why not? Because that's like more money for more people. I mean, granted, it's not like a ton of people are going to buy a Master Chief skin on Call of Duty on PlayStation, but like, somebody will. Some people will. Probably more people will buy it on Nintendo, just because, like, Super Smash and everything, they're used to getting like characters from different platforms on that platform in some way, shape, or form. So it's like, I'm just like, dude, why not? I mean, do 100% content.
I think it'd be more neat to do popular characters buy that platforms and lock behind that platform. So if you want Kratos, you have to have it on PlayStation, and they reap 90% of the revenue from that, or something like that. Just give PlayStation or Nintendo something to where they can get most of the monetization on something and be happy with what they have, but you're still not getting zero. You know what I mean? You're still getting something from it, but it gives PlayStation fans a reason to be excited because they're getting something, a Nintendo or Xbox person can't get, right? Or in Nintendo, you get Link, or you get like, imagine Mario running around with the freaking M16. That'd be insane.
Mario's got an ACR with a red dot on it.
You just running around with a cell-shaded Zelda. Fucking
dude, that's not a bad idea, honestly.
LMG,
right? Just setting up mines and claymores. Oh man, that'd be nuts. That's a good idea actually, because like that would be a way to give PlayStation fans, like you said, something to be excited for. And Nintendo fans would definitely love that, I would imagine, or at least any of the Nintendo fans who would want to play Call of Duty would definitely love that. Let's see. Rob Don says, well, in the interview, he said besides the capability of the console full parity. So, yeah, I think what he means there is he was talking about like there will be some situations in which one console will get a couple FPS more in one situation, or a little bit of a lower resolution in another situation. That's just varies and everything. But besides
it's pretty much marking itself safe to be able to make a Nintendo version at 1080p and Xbox and PlayStation at 4K.
Yeah, I think that's what that is. I don't think it's too much to read into on that. Robert Don also says ponies would buy Master Chief plus COD is mostly for the casual. I mean, well, you're not wrong there. COD is really, I mean, there's a stupid amount of people who every year they buy Call of Duty and maybe one other game, and that's what they play, and that is the casual player. And there's a lot of that on Call of Duty. So you're definitely not wrong. And I do think PlayStation players would buy Master Chief. If it was an option to them, I think they would. But I do think
for sure.
But I do like Ham's idea of like, having Kratos, Nathan Drake, have Sam Drake. You could have Chloe. You could so many people from the Uncharted series. Chloe, what's her name? I forget her name from Lost Legacy. The black chick. I forget her name. Oh, she was like a badass
Nadine?
too. Nadine. She beat the shit out of Drake in Uncharted 4.
You beat that shit out of him and a brother. Yeah,
at the same time. Dude, I mean, you could have so many characters from PlayStation on there. I think it's a good idea, honestly. And then like you said, that gives PlayStation players a reason to be excited. Xbox players got their players. You put Doomslayer in there, Master Chief. You get Marcus Phoenix, Dom. You get so many players. Put Senwa. I was about to say put Senwa in there.
Insane.
Put Senwa in there screaming and shit with an AK.
All she has is an axe. She just runs through bullets.
She just lunges at you. She's one of those players. Like everyone who plays as Senwa is just running around the map with a combat knife. That's
what would be dope is if they made zombies. Like and this has nothing to do with this whole parody thing. Mm-hmm. But it'd be kind of funny if they made like a zombie mode where you could turn them into the Flood.
Yeah, dude, that would be fantastic.
That'd be nuts.
That'd be awesome.
I mostly just want Halo to bring back the Flood in campaign. That's what I really want to see.
I would love. There's so many things that, just a quick tangent. there's so many things that Halo should be doing. And I mean, Halo's doing some things right now because like they're having a pretty big resurgence on Halo Infinite. We will talk about that in a little bit too. But like, where's the Halo Infinite horror game? Like they have the enemy. The Flood is right there. They have the perfect enemy for it. And I mean, it's like you could use
basic grunts and stuff like that for that kind of shit. You don't need Chief.
Yeah, you don't need to use Chief, because here's the thing with Master Chief and a horror game doesn't really work. Because if I'm Master Chief, I'm not scared of fucking anything. But if you make me a Marine, just a UNSC Marine versus the Flood on some deserted ship, I mean, come on. That's basically first person Dead Space. Make the ammo limited. Make the ammo limited. So it's like so you gotta time when you're gonna attack, when you're not gonna attack. You're gonna have to plan things out and strategy. Like it could be such an awesome game. And there's so many studios that could make that. I mean, like just off the top of I think Coalition could do that very well. Honestly, I'd be interested to see Coalition take on a horror game. I'd be really interested in that. Ninja Theory's kind of got a spooky edge too. I'd be interested to see that, but I don't know about Ninja Theory for sure. But like, I think 343 could even do that. Honestly, just let them work on something a little bit different and stretch their legs. Kind of. I mean, there's so many possibilities for Halo, but that's just a quick tangent. But yeah, I mean, what else did Phil Spencer talk about here? I mean, he mentioned bringing back, this one kind of got me excited. He mentioned bringing back games, even if it's not in the traditional sense of like remaking something or making something new around existing IP. And he mentioned Quake 1 and 2 remasters as an example. And he did mention Hexen. I was talking to you about this last night. He mentioned Hexen like 3 times in that interview. One of them was prompted by a question. And the other 2 times, he just brought up Hexen. And I look at that and I'm like, maybe we get a remaster of Hexen. Not like a remake, but a remaster. See how that does. And then maybe they bring back the IP, depending on that thing's success or the engagement it gets in Game Pass or whatever. But I thought that was a really interesting thing to talk about, because I know we talked about it a lot, like bringing back old games that we haven't seen for a while. Maybe you don't need to remake them. Maybe you could just remaster them. But yeah, what are your thoughts on the possibility of older games coming back? Maybe not as remakes, but just simple remasters or just revivals.
Just a fact of the matter that you're trying to just the fact of the matter you're trying to keep in like IPs alive is a plus. I mean, there's no way you can spin that bad.
Yeah, no way.
There's really like I don't really have anything bad to say about that per se at all. Like that's just amazing. Like that's exactly what you want to. That's literally what you want to hear if you're a fan of Activision at all and you wanted this purchase to be done. You definitely wanted to see some of your favorite things be brought back, given more life, be used in a different way.
Yeah.
So this is to the T what I want to see, but I also want Xbox to keep in mind that we've been asking you to do this with the stuff that you currently have already.
And yeah.
So it's cool. So it's cool for you to say that, but we need to see it. That's kind of where I'm at with the whole thing.
We do need to see it. And I have here from, I don't know how to say this guy's name, but he is the lead engine developer at Night Dive Studios and head developer of the Kex projects. His name is Samuel, I'm going to mess this up, Villarreal, maybe? He tweeted at Phil Spencer. He says, just letting you know, having a long-running history and extensive knowledge with Heretic and Hexen, I just want to point out that me and my team are very well suited for the job. So you got this guy's saying, dude, just let us work on Hexen. Any way, shape, or form. I mean, like, you've already got people. I mean, think back to when the deal was announced, like 2 years ago. You saw people at Activision. Mike brought it up the other day. There was like that dude at Activision who's like, Doom. I want to work on Doom. He's like, I want to work on Doom. That's like the first thing he said as soon as the news came out. I just want to work on Doom. And it's like, there's probably so many people like at Xbox or at Activision who are just like, dude, there's a lot of games that we aren't making right now that I want to be making, that I can totally make. And I'm hoping that Xbox really looks into that. And Phil did say during the interview that he'll be heading out. I think in the interview he said next week to teams at Activision and Blizzard to talk about what their goals are and everything, and
ambition searching.
Exactly. And I'm interested to see if, in the coming, next year, 2 years, maybe even 3 years, what comes from that. Because you think about the Bethesda deal, and we talked about this on Bullsitting on Friday. Like, this acquisition's huge. But at the time when Bethesda happened, we thought that was massive. And we're just now seeing that pay off. Like, Starfield, you can argue Redfall, whatever, Hi-Fi Rush, but like 3 games in a single year from that acquisition 3 years ago. We're just now seeing it pay off. This deal, it might take a little longer. It might take 3 years. It might take the exact same amount of time. Who knows? But it's like, it's going to be interesting to see in the coming years what actually comes from this. Maybe we do get new announcements for games that we haven't seen in a long time. Maybe it's just status quo. Who even really knows? It's going to take a minute to actually figure it all out. But the exciting part is this, where we get to like sit back and just speculate on and like read into Phil Spencer's interview and his talking points about like what he actually means and everything. And he's just mentioning Hexen a whole fucking lot. And it's just exciting to hear Phil Spencer even acknowledge that Hexen exists. That he knows it and that he's likely played it with how much he talks about it is just awesome. But yeah, it's. I mean, I'm all for it. Like you said, bringing back old games, like, it's something that Activision sorely needs. And you even mentioned Xbox, where it's like there's a lot of Xbox IPs that are just kind of sitting, not really doing much at all with it. I know the big one that people keep asking for is Banjo. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the biggest Banjo fan, but people keep asking for it. Like, lots of people. So it's like, you got Toys for Bob. I know Double Fine said they don't want to work on a Banjo game. They have no interest in that. Rare doesn't even want to work on a Banjo game. They got no interest in it. But you got Toys for Bob now. Maybe hit them up, see what they're doing, see if they got any plans, see if they want to do something like that. What are some other Xbox IPs need to come back? I'm gonna look that up.
Xbox or Activision?
We'll do the whole thing, honestly. Go Activision, go Xbox, because it's all the same thing now.
Well, as for like Activision, some things I'd like to definitely see them come back with is, Prototype as you're playing it on the screen.
Yeah,
but something that I haven't heard a lot of people say is, I'd like them to team up with Marvel and figure out something for themselves. Like, sure, it's not that I need something to rival Spider-Man. I just want something fun, because I feel like Activision's done a lot of things with Marvel in the past and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I definitely like to see who wouldn't love to see Deadpool come back? That's an Activision IP.
Deadpool would be phenomenal.
I mean, come on, that would be great to see Deadpool come back. It'd be cool to see Transformers and what they could do with that, especially after seeing what Armored Core came out like, right? I'd love to see like a story game of like Transformers. Like something that's big budget, looks good, not live service.
Yeah.
Let's see. Activision. They just have a ton of different stuff. If they want to do like even something cute, like sure, maybe you don't want to do like a full-on version, kind of like an Uncharted or something like that, because you got Indiana Jones around the way. But I feel like you could do something fun with Pitfall.
Pitfall is an interesting one. Doesn't get talked about a lot.
It does get talked about a lot, and it has a lot of history behind. So I think it'd be cool to kind of keep something like that alive as well. But I mean, really, at the end of the day, they just have a ton. As for the Xbox, Crimson Skies, I'd love to see them bring that back again. Talk about a different type of game where you could fly around and do stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, all that we really have for flight games right now is Flight Sim.
Yeah.
So I think that'd be a nice new little addition, is to have some Crimson Skies, something that has a story attached to it that you can play, fly around, and do stuff. I think that'd be great. I'd love to see a party game get made back for Xbox again. That would be Fusion Frenzy.
Yes.
Bring back Fusion Frenzy. Bring back the Twisted Sister. I'd love to do that all over again for sure. I don't know if you want to talk about like games for kids, maybe like Blink's Time Sweeper.
Blinks will be interesting, because I feel like when I was a kid and saw Blinks in the store, I was like, that looks I never played it, but I was like, that looks cool. I just never got it. But like, and then I played it, I don't know, like relatively recently, in the last year or two. And I was like, I should have played this one at launch. Because like, not playing it now, it feels bad. But I feel like my child self would have loved that game. And if you brought that back now with like, the difference between tech now and 20 years ago when that came out, I mean, Jesus. You could do some nuts stuff with it. You could have your own Ratchet and Clank, honestly. If you really wanted to.
That's kind of where I was going with that. If I wanted to kind of do a little bit of a deep cut, and this is kind of reaching, but it'd be pretty cool to see them a revision of the game Black.
Oh, Black! Did Activision do Black?
I just thought it came out on Xbox. I don't remember exactly who made it.
Yeah, I don't think that came out anywhere but Xbox. I'm gonna look that up. That would be phenomenal. Black. I'll just type in Black PS2. It's gonna show me a Black PS2 in it.
Yeah.
No, Black
is EA. Is EA that made Black?
Black was on PS2.
Yeah, it was.
Oh wow! I thought that was only on it. But yeah, dude, like
I
that
thought it was only on Xbox too, but I knew it wasn't developed by them, but I thought it was only on there. But nope, it was on PS2.
I mean,
throw that one in the trash.
Well, hey, I mean, EA has a good history they have a pretty good friendship with Microsoft right now, so it's like, hit them up, see if you guys want to do something with that, because they got so many studios that can make a shooter right now. If you gave there's 6 studios at Xbox right now that if you gave them the Black IP just to do something, I mean, it would be nuts. It'd be psychotic.
Talking about second party type games or anything like that, I sure would love to see Rise Center Realm make a comeback.
Oh, please. Yeah, dude. I mean, that game is so criminally underrated. It's just, I'm disgusted by it, quite honestly. That game was so good. I put a stupid amount of time into that game. And the multiplayer as well. Multiplayer was super great for that game. Wasn't Crytek not too long ago? Weren't they teasing something? Or was that just a rumor or something? I can't remember. I want to say there was some news around it.
I remember hearing something like that, but I think it was just a rumor.
Okay. Yeah, I know they're working on they're bringing back Crysis. They're doing a Crysis 4, which I'm interested in, but I really want Rise 2.
It's not that exciting though, to be honest. It's just kind of like, oh, you're working on the same IP.
Exactly.
And it's a great IP. It's just I've never personally been super into Crisis, so it's just kind of like a shoulder shrug for me. Not something I'm like, oh, whoa, new, exciting, and wow.
Yeah.
Like, you're making a game that's known for giving my PC a fucking run for its money. Like, I'm not that excited for Crisis. I'm sorry. You always give my PC, make it breathe heavy on just the original one. Jeez.
Well, yeah, dude, that's their entire. That's like the whole marketing behind Crisis is, hey, your PC can't handle it. Your PC stinks. That's their marketing for Crisis. But yeah, dude, if you made me choose between Crisis and Rise, it's not even a question. Like, I love Crisis 1, 2, and 3, but unless they're doing something completely revolutionary for 4, I'm taking Rise 2 a trillion% of the time.
Right.
Easy. That game was just, the story was great, the gameplay was great, the visuals. I mean, to this day, did you boot that up on Xbox? It's not 1X enhanced at all. It's the way the game launched. You boot that up on your Xbox today, it looks phenomenal. It looks phenomenal. Still one of the best looking games. I mean, definitely the best looking game I played at launch on Xbox on Xbox One by a mile. I think the other game in contrast that I played at that time that launched with Xbox One was Dead Rising 3. And I don't know if you've played Dead Rising 3, but it's not that good. It's not that good, and it certainly doesn't look that good. But yeah, man, bring back Rise. Let's make that happen, dude. Could you imagine Ninja Theory got Rise?
Oh man, that'd be a really good game, I think.
That would be, because there was a little bit of, there wasn't the whole psychological aspect, but there was a little bit of a mental aspect with Rise and how like it would cut back and forth. You were talking to what's his name? I forget that fat guy. Forget his name, but you were talking to that guy in the room. You got locked in the room with him, and then you would cut back out to gameplay and other cinematics. And dude, I think Ninja Theory could do that so well. If Crytek doesn't want to do it, Crytek don't want to do it. Let Ninja Theory do it, please. But yeah, dude, that now that I'm thinking of that, goddamn, that would be amazing. But let's see if I got any more notes about this interview with Phil Spencer before we move on to a few other topics. Oh yeah, he talked about mobile gaming. We'll probably talk about this really quick. He talked about mobile gaming. He said mobile gaming is key to the future of Xbox's next 30 plus years. He ensures that mobile will never be a replacement for the core game experiences, but it is something that Xbox sorely needs, and ABK gets them in a good position with COD Mobile, Diablo Immortal, and Candy Crush. I mean, I feel like we both kind of agree with that. Like, I imagine you're not too interested in mobile. I know I'm not. But they do seem to be very focused on that being a part of their business going forward. But, you know, that's just something to anybody who does care about mobile, because it is the biggest gaming platform. Just kind of wild when you think about it, because I don't play on mobile, you don't play on mobile. Not many people play on mobile, but it's the biggest gaming platform in the world.
Not many people that are vocal about gaming
exactly
are on mobile super hard. I mean, at least in the circles that we hang out.
Yes.
Like all the like journalism and stuff like that. I don't see shit about mobile. And no, I'm talking really about don't. Like even IGN. Like, you got to go to their website if you want to see something about mobile. They ain't posting that shit.
Yeah. Did you also see Phil at the end of the interview shouted out Spider-Man 2?
I'm sorry, what's that?
I said Phil at the end of the interview, he shouted out Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, I did see that. He was talking about how it's an incredible time in gaming and Spider-Man 2, stuff like that. Yeah, I seen that. What about
it's no, I just thought that was really awesome. I thought it was awesome. Feels awesome, and it's cool of him to shout that out. And yeah, it's a stupid year for gaming. Like it's kind of nuts. And speaking of this year for gaming, I feel like we might as well talk about these Game Pass editions that are coming to end out the month of October for Xbox. Let me bring them up on my end here. But there were quite a few. I know Like a Dragon Ishin launched like 2 days ago in the Game Pass. F1 Manager 2023 comes to Game Pass. City Skylines 2 comes to Game Pass for PC. Dead Space Remake, the big one, comes to Game Pass Ultimate and Game Pass on PC October 26th. And you've played a little bit of Dead Space Remake, right, on Steam, but you haven't like gone really into it.
No, I haven't gotten really into it, but it is fucking amazing looking.
Yes.
It just I have a hard time playing games on Steam, if I'm being honest. I just do.
I don't blame you.
I just do. There's nothing wrong with the games. It's just I like getting my achievements on PlayStation and Xbox. Like, that's where I like to get them. So whenever I'm playing something on Steam, it's because I literally don't have access to it on Xbox or PlayStation, and I'm just playing it to see what it's all about. But as soon as I have the ability to play it on one of the other consoles, I'm out.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing like Gotham Knights. I have it on Steam, but I've seen that it just came in the Game Pass. I'm out.
Yeah. I can't wait for you to play Dead Space Remake. In fact, I might stream Dead Space Remake for Halloween. I might call that out right here. I'm gonna do something for Halloween. I'll stream something. I don't know what yet, but it might be Dead Space Remake. But dude, Dead Space Remake is phenomenal. That's obviously the big game. I mean, you could also argue Like a Dragon Ishin is big. City Skyline 2 is not my kind of game, but that's a very big game for a lot of people.
I'm excited for City Skylines too.
Yeah.
They I think they delayed it though to next year.
On Xbox they did, yeah. And the way they made it sounds like it's barely launching on PC is the way they made it sound, because they said it launches on PC with performance issues, and I'm like, oh, that's not.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm
not,
all set.
That doesn't sound awesome, but all right.
That game isn't intriguing enough to play with performance issues.
Like it was
it's a Sim City. Like, I don't want to play that kind of game with performance issues.
Right, and the way it was, I gotta find that tweet. I think it was from like the official City Skylines account. Said it launches with performances. I'm like, don't say that like it's a feature. That's not a feature or anything. It's just not optimized right now.
You really want to play it? We got you.
Right?
Here's the fucked up build. Go enjoy.
From VGC, the PC version of City Skylines 2 will be released next week with performance issues. Paradox Interactive has warned players. So, yeah, I mean, hey, if you really want to play City Skylines 2, you can do it next week, but if you want to wait for better performance, probably next year. Probably looking at next year, honestly. And if you want to do it on console, then you're definitely looking at next year. So, I mean, hey, I'm sure people are still looking forward to it. People are going to play it regardless, but just be on the lookout for that.
There's a reason they're okay with dropping a broken build, is because they already got people that say they're willing to play it. So
yeah,
I mean, which is terrible that's a thing.
It is,
but you know, I could sit here and tell you how wrong it is, but it's up to people.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Same for me. It doesn't really matter what I say, because I'm not the audience for that game, so nobody cares what I say about that. But speaking of Game Pass, there's some stuff leaving Game Pass. Did you know Persona 5 Royale's leaving Game Pass?
Mm-hmm. I already beat it, so I was happy that I got through it already.
Oh, yeah. See, Gunfire Reborn leaves Game Pass. Kill It With Fire, Persona 5 Royale, Signalis, and Celeste Crown of the Magister leaves Game Pass October 31st. So if you haven't played those games and you want to play those games, or you want to just grab them with the Game Pass discount before they go, now's the time to do that. Go ahead and get those for yourself. I'm kind of surprised to see Persona 5 leaving, especially considering Persona, like, is it next month or is it December that Persona 3
Tactica.
portable? Tactica. Oh, Tactica launches first, right?
Yeah.
Tactica launches first, and then Persona 3 portable launches. Does that launch this year?
This Persona 3 Reloaded. They already got portable right now. Reloaded is going to be dropping in
January, okay. So yeah, I'm just kind of interested to see Persona 5 leaving when you got the other Persona games coming in quite soon after. But, you know, is what it is. I'm sure anybody who wanted to play Persona 5 Royale in Game Pass at this point has already played it, and they've already enjoyed it. So, you know, pick it up if you want it. If not, no big deal. But, I mean, let's see here. Oh, we should probably talk a little bit about Halo Infinite Season 5, because we were playing that last night. And that is, I mean, if you haven't played it by now, it's a fucking blast. I'm actually a little pissed at myself that I didn't record gameplay last night while we were playing, because I went to go add some gameplay to the reel for today and there was no Halo gameplay, and I was like, God damn it. So next time we play, I gotta record it. But dude, Season 5, what are your thoughts on what you've played so far?
I really like that one game mode that we were losing.
Husky
towards
Raid.
the end of the night. Husky Raid, that shit was fun.
Husky
But
Raid's
I tell
awesome.
you what, if you ain't prepared at the jump, then forget about it.
You get destroyed if you have a bad start. You're fucked. You're screwed. There's no
Pretty
coming
much.
back.
Yeah, we started out down a man, and it was over immediately. It was over immediately.
Game
But,
lasts like a minute.
But the way the game is set up, it's really fun. It makes sense. It's really straightforward, literally. But as for like the new maps that they have in there, super nice. Like a lot of people are talking about the map with like the needler that makes the needler stronger and stuff like that. A lot of people are excited about that. I actually like the other better.
I think the other map looks like, just aesthetically, it reminds me of Halo 2, and I like that. There's not many maps from Halo nowadays that remind me of Halo 2. That's one of them.
Yeah, I really like that one, just because I don't know, just the way that it's all set up. It just feels good.
Mm-hmm.
All in all, I'm pretty excited. But one of my most exciting parts of Halo Season 5 is yet to even come out, which is Firefight. I cannot wait till that joint comes out. There's also other pieces of the update that I have yet to actually get into.
Yeah, so like you got cross-core customization with your helmets. I think they'll be adding more to cross-core later, or that's something that people are still asking for. But now you can, like, I can put my War Master helmet on any set of armor that I have, which is fantastic because I love that helmet. But there's also the Forge AI, and you mentioned Firefight coming later. Did you know that with Firefight, they're bringing 9 Firefight maps to Firefight?
Oh shit, that's a lot.
They're bringing 9 maps to that shit. So whenever that launches, it's gonna have 9 maps, which is just nuts, because I don't think Firefight's ever had that many maps. I mean, maybe MCC, probably. I mean, just all together. But like, I don't think a single Halo game has had that many maps for Firefight yet. So I'm looking forward to that.
I've never seen Halo say, "Hey, we're dropping 9 of anything." Oh.
Yeah, it's been a long time since we came close to that. But dude, the 343, they turned it around so hard. In fact, I saw Mint Blitz wonder if I bookmarked it. I think I did. But Mint Blitz tweeted just last night, and this was like kind of later at night. He tweeted this. Granted, he is in Australia, but he tweeted that Halo had like 18,000 concurrent players, and this was like in the middle of the night in the U.S. on Steam. And that obviously that doesn't count, people playing on Game Pass, which is myself on PC, and then people playing on Game Pass on console, people who bought it on Xbox. It doesn't count any of that. That's just Steam. So you got 18K players concurrent on Steam at like, I think it was like 11:30, 12 at night. I mean, you put all that together. Imagine, what Xbox is doing, what Game Pass is doing on PC. Put all that together at like a peak hour. That game's probably hitting 60 to 80K concurrent players in its first day of the season. Which, I mean, you look at what it was at its lowest point. That game was near like 1,000 concurrent. So to see like the resurgence, I mean, they had the resurgence with season 4. They're getting an even bigger resurgence with season 5. I mean, dude, Pierre's got it figured out over at 343. I don't know what he's doing, but he's got that shit on lock. They switched. What's up?
I just want to say what I think.
Yeah,
they're doing. What I think they're doing is giving you a uncomfortable amount of things that you can do in Halo, right? And I was even saying this to Vinny, you and Mike yesterday when we were all playing Halo together. I was like, man, I remember when there was 3 options.
Yeah.
Of modes to play in Halo.
Yep.
I remember there was like 3 options. And now we have like a legit list, right? And the list is growing. We're going to be getting Firefight, which is going to be adding to that list. And as you said, it's going to be pretty bolstered up.
Yes.
It's going to be big, right? Who says after they drop this 5th season and then, the rest of the season happens and Firefight comes through and then they have another surprise for season 6 for multiplayer? Who's to say after the next season, after season 6, they don't finally say, here is additional single player content, as to where Halo blows up to have like 100 plus concurrent players, but then after they're done playing the single player, then they go into multiplayer and they're like, yo, this is a lot.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling, like, because you got people. I know Ackman is like a big Halo fan. There was a point in Halo Infinite's timeline where Ackman was like, dude, I'm done with Halo Infinite. And I remember just recently he was like posting videos. He's like, dude, Halo Infinite is amazing now. You got so many people like that. Imagine somebody like, and yours
even looks better.
Yeah, dude, it looks. I was playing on Series S, and I remember Series S, they had the 120 FPS mode, the 60, and then there's 30. I don't know. I didn't even bother with 30 mode. Forget that. But I normally play on 120 FPS mode, and that used to look very blurry. It used to look very blurry, very low res. I don't know what the res is now, but it's way sharper, to the point where I feel like it looks better than the 60 FPS mode used to look. I don't know what they did to it. I don't know how they got the resolution up to what it's at, whatever it is, but it looks so much better. And I haven't even tried it on Series X yet. And Vinny said it looks even better on Series X. So
it does. It looks real good on Series X.
So I don't know what they did to boost that resolution and not lose performance on that. I don't know if they're using like FSR3 or some shit. I have no idea, but it's working, whatever it is. But like, you think of like that example you just set up of people who, if they bring back single player DLC, or they bring single player DLC, and then people beat it, they jump into multiplayer. Imagine all the people who stopped playing before season 1 even started. and they come back for the single player DLC, then they hop into the multiplayer, and then they're like, what the fuck is all of this? They're just shocked. They're just shocked because it is a shocking amount of content that's in the game now. And we barely even talked about, I mentioned it briefly, Forge AI now. Have you seen the videos of what people are doing with Forge AI? Putting stupid amounts of enemies on the screen. I'm gonna see if I can find some examples of that on Twitter. I saw
if you can find that and show it off to everybody, that would be amazing.
See if I can find some.
I'm saying, like, that sounds wild to have a full-on, like, army versus army type battle. That would be so cool,
right? Let's see if I can bring this up here. Here's a video right here. Just this one's kind of basic too. This is not like the full AI budget. I don't even know what he's doing. He made like, well, I remember this map from ODST, or this layout of like a firefight map. And that new bandit rifle, by the way, with the red dot is sick too. I love that weapon. But I want to see if I can find like a better example. Oh my god.
Would you find something solid?
Yeah, I need to find Forge Halo Infinite AI budget. Just type that in. Oh yeah, okay. Here's the one I saw yesterday. The caption is, here's what 100% of the AI budget looks like in Halo Infinite.
Okay.
And he gets swarmed. He gets fucking swarmed. I love that.
Yeah, I'm just waiting to be able to see it.
Oh, I probably had to turn on low latency. Damn it.
Oh my god.
He gets fucked. It's great.
Like, there are so many people with swords.
Right? And that's, dude, like, you can, obviously that guy is focused on elites, but dude, that one video we just saw, there's like a brute chieftain with a grav hammer. There's like, obviously grunts and stuff, a jackal, like, dude, there's so many things that you can do with that.
I could literally see myself screaming, seeing that running down the hallway at me.
Dude, yeah, like, you could, we were talking about briefly, like, why has nobody made a Halo horror game? You could make a Halo horror game in there. With the tools that Forge gives you, you could do that. In fact, I'm gonna get on Halo tonight and see if I can find if there's any horror maps or something. Any horror game modes or something like that, because I'm interested to see that, because the amount of things you could do in that, just the stuff they gave you before AI even hit, people were doing. I mean, now you have AI, you can make your own game basically, if you really want to make your own level at the very least. But dude, Forge is nuts in Halo Infinite, and I need to try to get into it. I need to try to understand it. Because I used to love Forge, and then Halo 5, they made it way more complex, and Halo Infinite's even more complex than that. So it's a lot to understand for me personally, but I'm an idiot. So I need to get into it and see if I can actually learn it properly, because it looks so much fun. But yeah, Halo Infinite Season 5, man. Like, they switched up the management at 343, and I mean, it's paying dividends. It is paying dividends because they seem to be crushing it. I mean, I'm not hearing any negative 343 articles coming out every other week anymore. That seems to be done. So that's good. And now we're getting stupid amounts of content every season for the game. So it's definitely looking up for Halo Infinite. And maybe, like Ham said, maybe because it's looking up, we do see some story campaign DLC stuff come down the line, because that was the plan originally. But hopefully we get that, because I really want that story to continue. where it left off. What's up?
Oh man, I just remember this fight, and you are running for your motherfucking life.
Dude, that fight is a bitch. Like you can't stand still.
No, you can't. You can't. Like I did it, and I was actually streaming this, and I think Mike was watching me play it, and he is just like, "Oh my god, that looks so stressful," and I was like, "Can't talk, can't talk."
I just died too. That's hilarious, dude. I was getting tossed. I was getting tossed. I like the first 2 times I made the mistake of like standing still and aiming. No, you absolutely cannot. You will die 1,000% if you do that.
No,
but
you gotta jump and shoot, bro. You gotta jump and shoot.
Yeah, dude. That fight was fucked. That game went from not very difficult at all to what the fuck is going on. I can't do anything. That game is nuts. But yeah. Oh, Jay Rambert in the chat. Crazy request, but I want to see Xbox license the Ninja Gaiden IP and put it in Game Pass. I mean, that would be interesting to have, like, because Ninja Gaiden didn't go to PS2 originally, did it? It was on Xbox, I believe. I believe that's what it was. Because I remember playing Ninja Gaiden on Xbox when I was a little kid, and I stunk at the game. But if they brought back Ninja Gaiden now, like a new Ninja Gaiden, put it in Game Pass, I could see that being very successful.
Yeah, Ninja Gaiden wasn't on PS2.
Yeah. Because I remember that was like
it was on PS3, but not PS2.
Yeah, eventually it went to PlayStation. I remember that being a pretty big selling point for, I mean, obviously Halo and Fable and stuff, but I remember that being a pretty big selling point for the original Xbox. Yeah, he says Ninja Gaiden Sigma went to PS3, I think. And yeah, Sigma's the ones that they brought, like 3 of them to Game Pass last year, I think.
Right.
I don't even. Yep. I wonder if they're even still there. I'm not entirely sure. But
I'm pretty sure they are.
But yeah, that's the ones they brought to Game Pass last year. But it would be interesting. It'd be so awesome to see Ninja Gaiden come back. In 2023, or just modern consoles on these with the hardware we have, it would be nuts to see that. Hopefully somebody's working on that somewhere. I'd imagine somebody's got to be doing something with that IP. It's just seems like such an easy win, especially because it's not really a Souls game, but it kind of is, sort of, a little bit. Where it's like,
feel like it is.
Exactly. So it's like, I feel like now, after Elden Ring hit, and you got Lords of the Fallen out, Liza P is doing the numbers it's doing. Like, the Souls genre is fucking in right now. I feel like it's an easy dub to bring that back and just go wild with it, honestly. But yeah, that's not a bad idea. That is not a bad idea. Speaking of Liza P, actually, you know what? Let's talk about this, because this is probably the biggest news this week besides the ABK deal. And that is Pete Hines leaving Bethesda. After 24 years, he's retiring to focus. He says he will be exploring interests and passions and donating my time wherever he can and taking more time to enjoy life. So it sounds like he's kind of just, he's done. He's retiring. He's ready to get out of there and just have fun. Rob Dodon says Ninja Gaiden's a true action. I think says true action Souls. I don't know if my thing's covering that or something. I'm missing a word. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, Pete Hines out of Bethesda. What are your thoughts? What are you thinking about Pete Hines leaving Bethesda? You think it kind of makes sense now after 24 years?
I think it's no different than Jim Ryan.
Okay, explain.
He thought it was time to go, and the others agreed with him.
Okay.
Where it was like, man, lot has changed around here since I remember. I mean, that in that sense, it's different than Jim Ryan, right? Because Jim Ryan was in much more control than Pete
Yeah.
For obvious reasons. But Pete Hines, it's just like you stepped into a role where now you're answering to more people than you were.
Yes.
You're working with people you're unfamiliar with. There's just a lot of differences that's changing, and now that this Activision Blizzard thing went through, that's gonna happen on an even more grander scale. So now you're in line to talk to the people that are above you, right?
Yeah.
As to where when you were at Bethesda before, maybe you didn't even have to answer to nobody.
Mm-hmm.
But now you got to answer to somebody, and you got to wait in line to do it. And you have all these expectations that weren't there before. I feel like he enjoys Xbox. He likes where he got it. Redfall was a blunder, and it reminded him why maybe he might want to, get out of there at some point. And then Starfield came, smashed, looked good, and in my opinion, that's where he was possibly like, you know what? I know, I'm out of here.
Yeah. And I'm
out of here on something that we've been working on for a long time, and I don't want to do
that. Yeah. And if that's the case, I can't blame him for that. I mean, I feel like once the acquisition went through for Bethesda, like Pete Hines, I think Pete Hines was relatively vocal about always kind of, and not like it matters once acquisition goes through, but I think he was kind of always vocal about preferring PlayStation. And it's like once you get acquired by Xbox, obviously if you are someone that prefers PlayStation, you're probably doing a lot of things you don't agree with. Especially like you just said, you've been operating as yourself for he's been there 24 years. For 21 years, he's been operating an entirely certain way. Whereas now Xbox comes in, it's like you're seeing how things work behind the scenes, really, and you're getting an idea of what needs to happen going forward. And then you release Redfall, and you're just like, maybe I'm out. And then like you wait for Starfield, and like Ham said, you're like, okay, Starfield release, let's go out on a high note. And then you just announce, okay, I'm out of here. And for that, if that's his thought process, I really can't blame him, honestly. And I mean, shit, 24 years of working, doing what he's done, but being behind some of the best games in the history of the industry. I mean, go out on a high note with Starfield. You're practically a legend at this point. Why not go out on a high note? So, I mean, I can't really blame him, honestly. I saw some people kind of suggesting there's maybe some kind of like maliciousness, or like, I didn't vibe with Phil Spencer. Maybe he didn't. But I don't think it was.
Yeah, we'll never know that.
Yeah, I don't think it was like a thing where he was forced out. I just think it was like, dude, like you said, go out on a high note with Starfield. You've done so much already. Just enjoy retirement, honestly. Enjoy a relatively early retirement, because I don't think he's that old, really. I don't think he's like super old. He's like, maybe, I'm gonna look it up for myself. He's like late 40s, early 50s, maybe. Behinds. But yeah, I don't think it's anything malicious. And it sounds like you don't either. You don't think it was anything malicious behind the scenes kind of deal?
Nah, I don't. So bad.
Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, I'm trying to think if there was some more stuff to cover. Lies of P had 1 million sales, which is huge. That's their first game, and that hit 1 million sales while being in a service. So that's big news for them. Shout out to them on that. I still need to properly try it, and eventually I will, but I'm just not in a rush right now with everything that's out. I'm kind of just taking my time, especially now that Forza, Starfield, Cyberpunk, Spider-Man in 2 days, Call of Duty next month. It's too busy. It's too busy to hop into a Souls game that I know is going to frustrate the shit out of me. But yeah. Anything else you want to add this week before we get out of here?
Nah, man, I need to eat something because I'm losing energy fast.
I don't blame you. I need to eat something too, man. But let's get into the outros. I mean, Ham, let them know where they can find you, bud.
Yeah, definitely. Oh man, that High on Life update looks pretty dope. Not gonna lie, but
yeah.
But yeah, you can find me at HamSolo05 Gaming on Twitter. But as for what I do, content creating wise, you can find me at TSWS Gaming on YouTube. That's where I do all of my content creation, talk about gaming, have various guests come through from different parts of the world, talk about their experiences with gaming and stuff like that. I'd love to have you guys come through as well. If you got if you got a moment, come through, hit the subscribe button, and come check out the shows tomorrow. I have PK coming through. That should be a fun episode as well. And then Friday, I'm hoping, I'm not promising yet, but I may have a super duper special guest coming on to join us on it. But I'm just kind of still, I'm still hanging out with the hammer and the nails, trying to get it, trying to get it down packed. So we'll definitely see on that.
Sounds good. Sounds good. As for myself, I mean, you could check me out obviously here every Wednesday with Ham Solo, 2:30 p.m. Eastern for the Two Player Podcast. And then on Mondays and Fridays, I do a video, 11 a.m. Eastern, those launch. So check those out. And then I'm on Ham's channel Fridays for Bull Sitting at 4 p.m. Eastern. And then on Sundays, I'm on the Game Drain with Ham, my buddy Mike, Antoine, doing the Game Drain, and that is at 8 p.m. Eastern on Sunday nights. So look forward to that. Check it out. We will see you next week. Thank you all for stopping.